communication.
This is Five Flags Speedway, situated in the northwest corner of Florida in the city of Pensacola. Hello, everyone. Jim Copeland from the broadcast tower on the start-finish line of this racing facility. Tonight, the third stop in the series of late model races known as the Classic Series. Tonight's presentation is a highlighted presentation of a 200-lap event that took place Saturday night, August 27th. Now, this half-mile facility has a history that dates back to the early 50s when it was a dirt racing facility. Since that time, many major improvements, the most recent of which has been the enclosure of the racetrack by a retaining wall. The racetrack is banked 17 degrees in the turns and maintains some of that banking on the front and back straightaways. The starting grid for tonight's event has been determined by qualifying, and here they are. Starting up front on the inside position with a qualifying time of 17.47 seconds is Eddie Mercer in the Greater Auto Auctions Oldsmobile. It was Mercer who won both of the Twin 100 races July 16th. And this, by the way, is Mercer's home track. Sharing the front row, starting on the outside, will be Jesse Lucio in the All-Pro Glass-sponsored car with a time of 17.65 seconds. Lucio, another Pensacola-based driver. Mario Goslin is the points leader for the series going into tonight's race and will start on the inside of row 2 in his Auto Toy Store sponsored machine. Goslin racing out of St. Lucie, Florida. He will share the second row with Ricky Brooks, who established a time of 17.65 in his Sunoco sponsored race car. Now moving to row 3, veteran Ronnie Sanders of Fayetteville, Georgia, placed his L.C. Smith & Company sponsored car by touring the facility at 17.73 seconds. And from Birmingham, Alabama, Joe Manning was the 6th fastest qualifier with a time of 17.78 seconds. Row 4 is made up of a couple of local entries. Wayne Niedecken Jr. will be on the inside, starting 7th, and Tracy Goodson will fill the outside position. Niedecken with a time of 17.82 seconds, Goodson at 17.85. In row 5, it will be Tommy Ruff of Atlanta and Mike Elliott, who is based here in Pensacola. Row 6 consists of Ricky Sanders of Riverdale, Georgia, and Dan Ford of Franklin, Tennessee. Row 7 will see Tim Bryant, who calls Navarre, Florida, his home, and on the outside, Dick Anderson, who races out of Wildwood, Florida, and is the only Dodge in the field for tonight's event. Row 8 is made up of the veteran Pete Orr, who has traveled from Apopka, Florida for this event, and Mark Gerke, who is based in Panama City, Florida. Mike Cook is on the inside of row 9 as we get set to go racing, and on the outside, a first-time performer in the Classic Series, Ronnie Couture, both of these drivers based in Pensacola. Catfish Gardner, who calls Grand Bay, Alabama, his home, starts on the inside of row 10, and completing that row will be Doug Vann, who's from Pensacola. A couple of first-time racers in the Classic Series are on the 11th row, Larry Paulson of Mobile, Alabama, and Mike Kelly of Alpharetta, Georgia. Charles Sullivan, who is based in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and Tommy Warren Sr. of Pensacola make up row 12. Kurt Gallat of Pascagoula, and that's Pascagoula, Mississippi, and Mike Hines are in the next row, and completing the field, a couple of local racers, Ron McDonald and Shorty Chase. Well, that's the field for tonight's 200-lap Classic race, number 3 from Pensacola. Now, there's a points race connected with the 6-race series, and Mario Goslin is the leader with 272 points through 2 events. He leads Ronnie Sanders by 16 points. Eddie Mercer is third in the season standings with 212, and then it's Jesse Lucio and Ricky Sanders. So the starting lineup is set. $5,000 on the line for the winner, plus points in the $50,000 points fund attached to the Classic Series. And the start of that Classic Race Series 3, is coming up. So stay tuned. And the green flag is out. Start of the race from Five Flags Speedway. Classic Race 3 underway as Eddie Mercer vaults to the lead in the blue number 72. A car you want to keep an eye on. Your points leader vying for second place with the number 89 of Jesse Lucio as we complete lap number 1. Good view of the facility here in the northwest corner of the state of Florida. A half-mile track, as you look at second, third, and fourth, single filing their way around the race course early on in the stages of this event. And coming into the frame now, the 72 of Eddie Mercer. What a race he had just a few weeks ago. Twin 100s, and he won both of those events to move up in the points. Although your points leader is running currently second in black number 10, Mario Goslin, out of St. Lucie, Florida. And caution is out on the race course. There's the reason. A cloud of smoke, and the engine in Charles Sullivan's number 32 has let go. Sullivan's car is not the only one with problems, though. In the pit area on the first caution of the night, Catfish Gardner, they're under the hood. That's not a real good sign. Same time, Shorty Chase is making his way to the infield area with a problem that we're still not certain as to what's going on, but we'll have that information for you in a moment or two. This is a highlighted presentation of Classic Race 3 from Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, as you get a look at the infield area and the restart coming up. The field completed their time under caution, and they'll be coming to lap number 10 as flagman Wyatt Gibson again displays the green flag. And it's Eddie Mercer picking up right where he left off. Goslin, the points leader, holds to second. Currently second in the early stages of this race. Jesse Lucio, one of the local entries, certainly having a good run. And I imagine the expectations are quite high in that racing camp. He's a veteran on this race course and has worked very hard to get here and compete in the late model division. Top three cars working turn 3 and 4 as the top 5 actually come into view now, running way back in the pack or back in this string of cars. The blue number 5 of Ricky Brooks. There are your top 2. Eddie Mercer and Mario Goslin. Lots of action going on in the pit area, too, as we stay with the leaders. Mark Gerke is in. Mike Hines, Shorty Chase, latter 2 cars with overheating problems. Steam billowing out of those cars. No word yet on the problem with the Gerke automobile. Round we go, completing another lap. In this, the Classic Race 3 in the series being contested at Five Flags Speedway. Eddie Mercer holding the lead. Mario Goslin about 2 car lengths back. And Jesse Lucio running third. Ronnie Sanders continues to run fourth, and it's Ricky Brooks in 5th place. This facility upgraded this year, as you can see, retaining wall all the way around. Those of you familiar with Five Flags Speedway and thinking in terms of being here in December for the annual Snowball Derby, the racetrack has a whole new look to it. Hopefully you'll be very excited to see that. Come join us in Pensacola for those 4 days of racing that will be coming up last couple of days of November and the first couple of days of December, the annual Snowball Derby. Some of these cars will be racing in that event. 327 laps this year. Eddie Mercer working some lap traffic, as is Mario Goslin, as this race continues to unfold. A highlighted presentation. We remind you of that because at certain times we will jump forward to the better racing action that took place during this 200-lap event. There's the interval between first and second. Mercer setting a rather torrid pace. Top 5 cars holding to their position and now having to work lap traffic. It always becomes interesting as far as negotiations are concerned among the race cars and to the race fan, too. Now you see why these drivers are so good at what they do. There's another one of the automobiles in the pit area with an overheating problem. It is quite muggy tonight as this race continues. Temperatures are in the low 80s and the humidity is quite high. and is having a profound effect on some of the race cars. Mario Goslin on the outside of Tommy Warren to maintain position 2. And Jesse Lucio staying right on his bumper along with Ronnie Sanders and Ricky Brook. So the top 5 remain the same as the race continues. A total of 200 laps coming up. Eddie Mercer on the front straightaway, your race leader. Already 2 checkered flags under his belt in this series, capturing both halves of the Twin 100s, contested about 3 weeks ago. Mario Goslin was the winner of the first race and jumped to an early points lead in that $50,000 points fund that's also associated with this racing series. Mercer out of turn 4. You see the cars working the lower groove on the racetrack. They have the option of moving up. Five Flag Speedway, a 2-groove racetrack now, thanks to some of the caution that has to be exercised with the outside retaining wall. Before, you could travel on the ragged edge, and if it got away from you, the worst that was going to happen was you would exit the race course to a grassy knoll. That's not the case anymore. Several have tried. The wall has not moved. And so these cars are very cautious. And speaking of cautious, caution out again. This time it comes on lap number 34. The problem is with the number 42 of Larry Paulson. His first time out on this race course to join this series. Racing out of Mobile. Well, things are taken care of, and green is again being shown to the racing field. And it doesn't take Mercer long to establish that he is leading this event. But Mario Goslin not letting him get far out of sight. 2 or 3 car lengths, and maintains a good position. Top 2 cars completing another circuit at Five Flag Speedway. When they revamped this race course, those of you familiar with the Snowball Derby or who may have visited here a number of times for racing events, remember that the pit area used to be quite compact, and on a big race could get very crowded. Well, that has now opened up, and there's more room than ever before to accommodate a number of race teams and interested spectators in the infield area of this racetrack. And caution in turn 3. Involving a couple of cars. Mike Kelly up against the wall, getting sideways to try and avoid the number 9 of Mike Elliott, whose car spun on him. Back in Pensacola, Florida at Five Flag Speedway, this is Jim Kobles. It is the Classic, a 200-lap late model race, 3rd race in a 6-race series, and Eddie Mercer, who was the fast qualifier earlier this evening, remains the leader. It is Mario Goslin holding the 2nd position. That's the number 9 of Mike Elliott, who had that unfortunate spin just prior to the last commercial break and lost at least 1 lap. Mario Goslin remains in 2nd position, as we said. Jesse Lucio holds to 3rd. Ronnie Sanders is running 4th, and Ricky Brooks continues in the 5th position. Now trying to move into the top 5 and should come into your frame here in a moment. Well, you just had a quick glimpse of it. The yellow automobile of Wayne Niedecken Jr., former track champion right here at Five Flag Speedway. Also a regular competitor on the All-Pro, Slim Jim All-Pro racing circuit, and a well-known name in late model racing around the Southeast. Currently running 6th. Keep an eye out for the yellow number 99 as we give you a good shot of Eddie Mercer, negotiating the race course and maintaining his lead from the onset of this event tonight. Leaders working their way around lap traffic. Into turn 3 and 4. This track banks 17 degrees in both turns and maintains a certain degree of that banking on the front and back straightaway. Ronnie Sanders, based in Georgia and a regular competitor in the Southeast for a number of seasons. Teaming up tonight with Ricky Sanders. Yes, they are related. Ronnie Sanders being the father, Ricky Sanders the son. And have spent a great deal of time on the late model racetracks together. Your leader coming up on lap cars once again to deal with this traffic, as well as trying to hold off Mario Goslin, who appears to have settled in and is just waiting for that perfect opportunity to make his move, maintaining that 3 to 5 car length difference between first and second. Larry Paulson continues on the race course, making his first start in the Classic Series, but is a regular competitor in late model racing in the Florida and Alabama area. Mercer with little or no concerns at the moment, but as we get deeper into the race, tires will come into play. All of these automobiles racing on Goodyears and are limited to 8 tires for the race. So it becomes critical that mid-race tire change. Do you change 2 or 4 or what? And each team, I'm sure, will have their own configuration. It'll be interesting right around lap 95 to say 115 or so. That's when the tire change will come. Generally speaking, the tire is running about 100 laps. But some of these drivers have been known to push it just a little farther than that. Sometimes they have to, should a caution flag come early before the mid-break. And then the question is, do you change 2 or 4? It should be interesting to see a little later on. Tracy Goodson back out on the race course. In the infield area, problems on board. No indication as to what the trouble is as yet. Mercer working lap traffic and maintaining his lead. And the 92 of Ron McDonald. Apparently officials have detected a problem, or his pit crew has detected a problem, and he's being requested to the infield area as the consultation flag has been posted. Eddie Mercer, your race leader. Greater Auto Auction sponsored number 72. Beautiful night in Pensacola, Florida. It is a bit warm and the humidity just a bit high. A lot of the folks here enjoying a day at the beach and then come to spend the evening with us to enjoy a night at the races. And they're seeing some fine racing right now. A good display of the driver's ability. Credit to Mercer and to Mario Goslin, as well as Jesse Lucio. And they've obviously settled in. They want to put themselves in a position to win the race. You hear drivers say that a lot. They've done that. They've got a long way to go. You exercise a little bit of caution and continue to make your way around this race course. Try not to use up your tires. Try not to use up the car. So far, Eddie Mercer has been masterful at doing that. Coming up on the familiar racing colors of Pete Orr. Longtime competitor in the South Florida area. He's trying to battle to stay on the lead lap, realizing now that Eddie Mercer is right behind him as you get a look at the field. Ricky Brooks holding to 5th place. Wayne Niedecken Jr. racing 6th in the yellow 99. Mercer all by himself in turn 3. Again comes up on the automobile of Pete Orr, who's doing everything he can to stay on the lead lap as we check the field once again. Give you some idea of how they stack up coming out of turn 4. This the Classic Race 3 at Five Flags Speedway, based in Pensacola, northwest corner of the state of Florida. And there's trouble. Joe Manning has spun. On the last lap past the tower, it appeared as though his car was overheating. Could be cause for this action on the track. So the top 5 remain pretty much the same. Dick Anderson into the pit area, and they're under the hood. Apparently some overheating problems there as well. And it looks as though it may be terminal. We're back out on the race course now. The green flag coming up is displayed by flagman Wyatt Gibson on lap number 66. We've just completed the 4th caution of the evening. Eddie Mercer setting the pace. Mario Goslin continues to run 2nd. Then it's Ronnie Sanders who's taken over the 3rd position from Jesse Lucio, who is pushed back to 4th, and Ricky Brooks holds on to position 5 as we complete yet another lap. Mario Goslin slipping and sliding around just a bit as he dives into turn 1. Tracy Goodson, who's had some problems, out to get a lap back, mixing it up with the fellas. Ricky Brooks in the blue number 5 and the number 99 of Wayne Niedecken Sr. on the hunt. Here comes Tommy Ruff moving into the picture. Lots of jockeying for position in the field. Eddie Mercer continues as your race leader. As we focus on Jesse Lucio, Ricky Brooks running in the top 5. Classic Series race number 3 from Pensacola. The field approaching the halfway point. As they continue to make circuits around the race course, going for a total of 200 laps tonight. Stay with us. Eddie Mercer, your race leader. We'll be right back. Becoming a problem now for the front runners. Eddie Mercer, your race leader, lap number 90. As you watch more of Classic Race 3 from Five Flags Speedway. I'm Jim Kobles. Welcome back to the Speedway. A highlighted presentation of the Classic Series. 200 laps the total. Eddie Mercer leading the race, and he has since the first green flag tonight. Mario Goslin is 2nd, Ronnie Sanders 3rd, Ricky Brooks is 4th, and Wayne Niedecken Jr. has moved to 5th. It would appear Jesse Lucio, who ran in the top 5 for the first 88 laps or so, well, not 88 laps, but darn near that much, is using up his tires and having some problems. We addressed that particular subject a few moments ago, and tire wear will become a problem as this race continues to unfold and we reach the halfway mark of 100 laps. There's second place, Mario Goslin. Ronnie Sanders running third. All of the cars are racing on Goodyear tires, and they are limited to 8 for the entire race. So each one of the racing teams forced to plan accordingly as far as tire wear is concerned. This racetrack, 1/2 mile measured on the outside. You saw the qualifying speeds earlier. These cars racing at about 100 miles an hour on the front and back straightaway, slowing considerably for the turns. Eddie Mercer on the outside of Tim Bryant, establishing quite a lead for himself now as Mario Goslin holds to second position. You can see there it's fast approaching a half lap lead on the field. Eddie Mercer has been very, very steady, picking his way through the traffic very carefully and using it to his advantage. You can see he runs well in groove number 2, which oftentimes comes into play as we get down to the latter stages of the race. The leader coming up on Jesse Lucio. Caution is out. Apparently a spin in turn 3. Well, here comes the action in the pit. We told you that was going to come up. A flood of cars for tires and fuel, including your race leader. Now they've changed the right side tires, and we still don't know that he will go with only 2, because it's next to impossible to make a 4-tire change on one stop when you're racing on this track. Even though the pace car travels at about 25 miles an hour, still pretty quick around the race course, and generally requires 2 trips to the pit if you're going to take on 4 tires. That is not going to be the case. Green flag is out, and we're back racing. Mario Goslin has inherited the lead. Just a little bit quicker while they were out in for tires. Eddie Mercer's not that far off the pace. Ronnie Sanders is running second, and Mercer is right back up there. Ronnie Sanders making a move on the outside. He's just hoping that Tracy Goodson will hold it down, use it to his advantage, and he does, and Ronnie Sanders is your race leader. The car's all with new right side rubber. And Mercer closing the gap on second place, Mario Goslin. He's caught him. Now let's see what he will do with him. Setting up to go to the outside. He does so quite handily. Ronnie Sanders, based in Georgia, racing in Northwest Florida, the city of Pensacola, Five Flag Speedway. Consultation flag being posted. lap cars. Of no concern to Eddie Mercer at the moment. Chasing Ronnie Sanders for the lead in this race. Sticks the nose up there. I'm here. Side by side down the front straightaway. And it's Eddie Mercer. Back in the lead of this race. Ronnie Sanders holding second position in car number 18 as they work their way around lap traffic once again. Sanders holding nice in the second position, opening up the gap now to about 5 or 6 car lengths. There's a good overall view of the race course from turn number 4. Take you down the front straightaway and back to the race course to the top of the line. Come the leaders. They are charging. Mike Cook drops to the inside as they go by. Nice assemblage of people on hand, enjoying themselves in the grandstand as well as the infield area, as Mike Elliott, the number 9, loses yet another lap to Eddie Mercer. This race continues to unfold here at Five Flags Speedway. Eddie Mercer completing yet another circuit. Really has settled in. No, he's thinking now, do we have enough tires left? Are there enough laps left? He really doesn't need the laps, he just needs the tires. It's probably Ronnie Sanders who's hoping there's enough laps left. Coming to lap 158. A highlighted presentation of Classic Race 3 from Pensacola, Florida. Eddie Mercer works his way down the front straightaway through turns 1 and 2 and down the back chute. Right now stands pretty much alone. Probably he's thinking the longest 35 laps or so coming up in a while. One can only imagine how anxious you get when you have this type of lead. You know a checkered flag brings $5,000 with it. You know second place is a good distance behind you. And you also know that anything can happen. So I'm sure there's a lot of caution going on as well. Eddie Mercer with a lot of seat time in a late model knows exactly what he's doing, particularly on this race course. It is his home racetrack. And he is putting that experience to good use. Eddie Mercer continues to lead this race. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more and the exciting finish coming up. Back with the final laps in the Classic Late Model 200 from Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jim Cobus. The green flag displayed on lap number 169. Eddie Mercer holds to the lead. He established back on lap number 115. Interesting piece of strategy, perhaps, in the pit during the break. The Niedecken car in. They changed both rear tires. Eddie Mercer continues as your leader. Ronnie Sanders is second. Mario Goslin third. Then it's Wayne Niedecken Jr. and Jesse Lucio has battled his way through the field, and he's moving back into contention. Lap number 177. Niedecken on the move. Going to third, as you saw, but it may be all for naught. Eddie Mercer and Ronnie Sanders have effectively sprinted away from the rest of the field. Now they hold at least a half-lap lead, or in some cases. Mario Goslin has moved into the field and is running second right behind Mercer. The number 10 of Mario Goslin should appear on your screen here in just a moment. That's the race leader. And you see Goslin about 3 car lengths back. It is sprint time to the finish. Eddie Mercer, Mario Goslin, and Wayne Niedecken Jr. in the number 99. Some distance back now. Runs third, is running third. As these two automobiles battle it out, they know a checkered flag is in the very foreseeable future for one of these two cars. Eddie Mercer has led most of the night, relinquishing the lead because of a pit stop, a planned pit stop, and then capturing the lead again. Goslin closing the gap as they come out of turn 4. Top two cars battling down the back straightaway to turns 3 and 4. This classic finish to Classic Race 3. Eddie Mercer out of turn 4. Tire wear we talked about earlier coming into play again. They've got about 100 laps on these tires, and you saw the Goslin automobile sliding around out of turn 4, having to back off as they negotiate there just a bit. Eddie Mercer cautiously working his way around lap traffic. Mario Goslin holds the second position. He knows that he's going to keep the points lead even if he cannot get past the race leader. And there's 2 laps remaining. 1 mile of racing for Eddie Mercer. with lap traffic in front of him. In fact, he has been so efficient tonight as he comes up on the next group of cars. The white car you just see in the picture is 5th place. As the white flag is displayed, they go around the outside of Jesse Lucio, who himself has done a magnificent job this evening, fighting back to the top 5. He is running 5th, and the leaders have just lapped him. Here they come in turn 3, out of turn 4 to the checkered flag. The winner of Classic Race 3, Eddie Mercer, in car 72, as Mario Goslin in car number 10 finishes second. Stay with us. We'll be right back. What a win for Eddie Mercer on his home track tonight, facing some of the better competitors from around the region. Mercer established his dominance at qualifying, proved his worth, leading 186 of the 200 laps. Joining his crew in victory lane, track announcer Dave Pavlock is there with Eddie Mercer.
I'm more choked up than you are here. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dave. That was a really, that was a fun race. I mean, I've never drove a better car than these guys give me tonight. I mean, they worked like crazy on it. You know, I'd like to thank Jimmy Wainwright and Charlie Phillips and David Fauché and Lynn Boyette, and Daryl and Gina Leachman. They come over from Mobile every week to help me. And Aaron changing tires, my little brother Stevie, and just, I got too many to name, but all the guys know who they are, and I sure appreciate them. They did me a good job, and the car was good, and it was fun to drive. It was about the best race I've ever had. I mean, that thing just was on a rail all night long, and they really did a good job.
They pretty well smoked the field there. You're coming into your white flag lap. You passed the 5th place car, so it was only 4 in the lead lap there at the end. I don't know if you're aware of that, but Lucio was running in 5th in car 89 on the white flag. You passed him.
Well, you know, I really thought that Mario was going to beat me, and Lynn Boyette was telling me on the radio, "That's bull. He ain't beat us yet. Don't you quit on me." And I didn't. You know, I hung in there, but that
was my next question. With about 10 laps to go there, you were all out ahead, and then a couple more laps, Mario Goslin was come right up. I went over to ask your pit, is something wrong with Eddie's car? And he said no.
Well, no, I was trying to take care of the tires all night. We had 100-lap tires, and Mario kind of snookered us. I think he got 2 at 100, and then he got 2 at lap 160, so he had 2 40-lap tires on, and I had 2 60-lap tires. So, you know, I just had to make up the difference.
Well, I noticed I was standing in your pit when you came through for your tire change there, and you had a very fast crew tonight. Their tire change made a big difference there for you to be able to get back out and regain that lead quickly.
That's true. Them guys are super. You know, at the All-Pro race, we had a bad stop, and it hurt us in the race, and we just wanted a good stop tonight, and they gave me one, and I appreciate them. I'd like to thank them personally right now. I'd like to thank all the fans for coming out also.
Well, thank you. On behalf of the Spears family here, we got one. That's a pretty heavy one there. My arm is getting limp, but congratulations to you.
Thank you, Dave.
Mercer picking up a check for $5,000 for the victory here tonight, and valuable points in the $50,000 points fund that covers the 6-race series. Mario Goslin finished in the runners-up spot, taking home $3,400, which is not a bad night's work either.
Yeah, we're just trying to save the car, save the tires. We wanted to be there at the end. That was the main goal, to be there at the end. So we saved as much as the car as we could, and we were there at the end. We had a real good car, and I think a few more laps would have had him. We put a few tries on him, but not quite enough. But we were getting stronger, and he was getting a little weaker, so I think we'd have had him pretty quick.
Well, this is going to probably keep you right up there on top in the points battle, too.
Yeah, it should keep us right there, and I'd like to thank Five Flags Speedway and Coca-Cola, Auto Toy Store, Penske Shocks, Port City Race Cars, everybody that's helped me. Everybody's doing a great job. The crew, just everybody's support, fans. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, but...
Top 2 finishers in tonight's Classic Race number 3. Well, stay with us. I'll be back with the official order of finish and the point standings through 3 events in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. The official order of finish tonight, Eddie Mercer taking the checkered flag in a race that lasted 1 hour and 20 minutes. There were 6 caution flags for a total of 30 laps. Mercer led the race from the start until lap 102, when Mario Goslin assumed the lead. Ronnie Sanders then taking the lead on lap 108, and on lap 115, it was Eddie Mercer to the front again to hold on for the checkered flag. 28 cars started the race. Ronnie Sanders finishes the night 4th, and it was Jesse Lucio bringing his number 89 to 5th place. Tommy Ruff, Dan Ford, Tracy Goodson, Tim Bryant, and Ricky Sanders completed the top 10. Well, as you look at the order of finish tonight, let's review quickly the point standings in the $50,000 six-race points fund. Mario Goslin continues as the leader with 368 after tonight's event. Ronnie Sanders is second with 344. And tonight's winner, Eddie Mercer, who had to park his car with engine failure in the first race, is rapidly gaining ground. He now stands with 312. Jesse Lucio is fourth with 292. Wayne Niedecken Jr. has moved up 4 places in the standings. He now is in 5th place. The third race in the Classic Series comes to a close. A familiar name in victory circle, that of Eddie Mercer. That's 3 victories on the series so far, and there are 3 races remaining. Now, the next event comes up on September the 17th, right here at Five Flag Speedway. Hopefully, you'll make plans to join us that night, and keep watching. We'll have those on television as well. For all of us here at the Speedway, a pleasant good night to you, and thanks for watching.